If you follow artificial intelligence, you know the usual suspects: OpenAI, Google, Meta, and Anthropic. They are the titans of Silicon Valley, armed with billions of dollars, massive media hype, and the best talent the Western world can offer. But over the last year, a new name has kept appearing near the top of the leaderboards. A name that seemed to come out of nowhere. It's producing models that rival GPT-4. It's crushing coding benchmarks. And perhaps most shockingly, it's doing a lot of this completely open source. That name is DeepSeek. Today, we are going to tell the untold story of this Chinese AI unicorn. We are going to look at how a group of secretive financial math wizards pivoted from predicting stock markets to predicting the future of AGI, and in the process, became the dark horse that is absolutely shaking up the global AI race. To understand DeepSeek, you have to understand that it didn't start as a typical AI research lab. It wasn't born in a university basement or a Silicon Valley garage. Its roots are in the ultra-competitive, high-stakes world of quantitative finance. DeepSeek is essentially a spin-off of a company called High Flyer, or Zhejiang High Flyer Asset Management. High Flyer is one of China's legendary quantitative hedge funds. If you don't know what quants do, they don't trade based on gut feelings or watching the news. They use advanced mathematics and immense computing power to find tiny, invisible patterns in market data and execute trades in milliseconds. High Flyer was incredibly good at this, and to be good at quant trading in the 2020s, you need two things: brilliant mathematicians and an absolute mountain of GPUs. Long before ChatGPT launched, High Flyer was building one of the largest private computing clusters in Asia just to run their financial models. They were already experts in high-performance computing and training complex neural networks on vast datasets. The founder of High Flyer, Liang Wenfeng, is a coder himself. He recognized something crucial around 2022. He realized that the same infrastructure they built to predict stock prices was perfectly suited for the emerging field of large language models. They had the money, they had the chips, and they had the talent. They just needed a new mission. In 2023, amidst the global frenzy triggered by ChatGPT, Liang Wenfeng officially launched DeepSeek AI as a standalone entity dedicated to general artificial intelligence, but they entered a crowded field. How do you stand out when Google and Microsoft are sucking up all the oxygen in the room? DeepSeek's strategy was brilliant. Tackle the hardest problems first and do it in the open. While many Western companies were closing off their models and hiding their weights, DeepSeek committed to an open-source philosophy. They knew that to gain trust and adoption quickly, they needed the developer community on their side. Their first major shot across the bow wasn't a chatbot designed to write poems or emails. It was aimed directly at software engineers. In late 2023, they unleashed the DeepSeek Coder series. These models were shocking. On key coding benchmarks like human eval, DeepSeek Coder didn't just beat other open-source models like Meta's Llama. It was trading blows with closed-source giants like GPT 3.5 and rising quickly. Developers suddenly realized that this unknown company had released a model they could run locally on their own hardware, and it coded better than almost anything else on the market. It put them on the map instantly. They proved they weren't just copying. They understood the fundamentals of data curation and model training better than many established players. But coding was just the warm-up. The real goal was a general-purpose large language model to rival GPT-4. However, DeepSeek faced a reality check. Even with a hedge fund backing them, they didn't have the infinite resources of a Microsoft or a Google. They couldn't just brute force their way to intelligence by building bigger and bigger dense models that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to train. They had to be smarter. They had to be more efficient. This necessity led to their defining characteristic today: their mastery of the mixture of experts, or MOE architecture. To put it simply, Think of a traditional AI model as one giant brain that has to activate every single neuron for every single question. It's powerful, but incredibly expensive to run. An MOE model is different. It's like having a team of specialized experts in a room. If you ask a math question, the model only wakes up the math experts. If you ask for a history essay, it wakes up the history experts. You get the performance of a massive model, but you only use a fraction of the compute power for each interaction. Throughout late 2023 and 2024, DeepSeek doubled down on this architecture. Their release of DeepSeek version 2 and subsequently DeepSeek version 3 were game changers for the open source community. They managed to train models that performed at the level of top-tier US models on key benchmarks, but they did it at a fraction of the training cost. This allowed them to shatter the pricing floor of the API market. While other companies were charging huge fees for access to their best models, DeepSeek began offering comparable intelligence for pennies on the dollar. They weren't just matching performance, they were redefining the economics of running powerful AI. But the story doesn't stop at efficiency. The most recent chapter in their history involves a leap into reasoning models. Following the release of OpenAI's O1 series, models that think before they speak, DeepSeek was remarkably quick to respond. They released Deepseek R1, a model capable of chain-of-thought reasoning that rivaled the best in the world at mathematics and logic problems. What makes this part of their history so significant is how they achieved it. They utilized a technique involving reinforcement learning to encourage the model to self-correct and verify its own chain of thought. And true to their roots, they open-sourced it. This was a massive moment for the AI community because it democratized the secret sauce of reasoning models. Suddenly, researchers everywhere could see exactly how a model learns to think through complex problems, breaking the monopoly on advanced reasoning techniques. And that brings us to today. In just over 2 years, DeepSeek went from a hedge fund's side project to a legitimate powerhouse in global AI. Their journey is unique because they approached the problem differently. They leveraged the brutal efficiency of financial quant trading and applied it to generative AI. They chose open source over closed source, earning the loyalty of developers worldwide. And they bet big on architectural innovation, like mixture of experts, instead of just relying on raw scale. DeepSeek proves that the AI race isn't just about who has the most money or the biggest data center. It's about architectural ingenuity and data quality. They are the unpredictable variable in the AI equation. A reminder that in this exponentially moving field, the next giant leap can come from anywhere. What do you think about DeepSeek's rapid rise? Are you using their models in your workflows, or do you stick to the closed source giants? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into AI history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.